Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Nitish, and in this episode, this is going to be a little special one because we're talking about a role that sits right between the intersection of technology and people. It's actually the sales engineer role. So to explore that, I'm joined by someone who's living that journey right now. A sales engineer role, I think, in the very first role. So we'll talk about her background, how she broke into that role, what the day-to-day really looks like when it comes to sales engineering, what are the skills that matters most in this field. How is this field even different from software engineering? Many few people know that there is something called a sales engineering, and which is as important as software engineering. So software engineers build the product, but sales engineers are the people who actually sell the product. Um, and of course, we'll wrap up this video, the episode, with a fun rapid fire round at the very end. So if you're curious about the sales engineering and trying to figure out your first step into the tech, this episode is for you. All right, so we have been joined by Emily. Emily, thanks for joining in. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Nitish, for having me. My name is Emily. I am a sales engineer at the same company that Nitish is at, Acuity. And as Nitish gave me a very nice introduction of what my job is, I sell the product to customers.
Sounds good. Um, so I'm assuming this is your first job. Let's go to the background first. So could you take us back to the beginning? Like, what was your background like? What were you studying or doing before this? And the moment you first discovered about the sales engineer role, did you have a prior experience with that or not?
That's a good question. So this is my first role out of college or university, but it is not the first job I held for a long time. So my background is in electrical and computer engineering. I graduated from the University of Toronto in Canada. And much of my education was actually revolved around really hardcore like electrical engineering. So I did like signal processing, some biomedical engineering. So it was like where I would literally be sitting in a lab with my coat on, doing pipettes, taking photos of like cells and stuff. I think Nitish's seen one of my cell pictures, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So that was my education. So it was very far from the actual like sales engineering or any like computer tech role I worked. But the reason why I got into like the computer side was because during my college or university time, we actually do take a year off to intern at a
hmm
company, and I was at a very software company. So that was kind of like my first job. I got to learn the software side of things. I think even though I don't really develop software right now as a sales engineer, that really helped me see what it's actually like to work in tech. How does tech function outside of school and in the industry? But in terms of how I got into sales engineering, I was actually really lucky that the person that hired me at Acuity knew me from a conference. I gave a talk at a conference about the community, so it wasn't really tech oriented. But I guess that he thought I was really well spoken and have a potential to do sales engineer because storytelling and objection handling and stuff like that. So he reached out to me asking if I'm interested in exploring like a sales and solutions engineering role, and that's how I got in.
sounds good. And so you mentioned about this is your first sales engineering role, and you had a prior experience to that. Um, I'm very curious to know about the stuff. So when you were about to join, did you have any sort of doubts or fear before you were starting this new role? The reason I'm asking you is because I feel a lot of people, including me, eventually have imposter syndrome at the very start of their new job, especially when it's their first job. So just want to know what was your experience like?
Absolutely imposter syndrome all the way, and uh, it never goes away. I don't know about if other like solutions or sales engineer feel the same way, but it never goes away for me. There could be days where I'm really confident and feel like I'm really accomplished, especially knowing when a deal is closed because of my influence. I feel like I belong here. But when I do have those bad days, maybe I mess up a customer call, maybe I didn't answer a question the way that I would like myself to. This is where I actually do doubt myself, and this was very prominent in the very beginning of my career just because I am new to both this kind of tech stack because my background is in like software and my prior job to that I had a few different roles was always in like a developer open source contributor individual contributor space and it twist of DevRel, but never really sales. So both in the tech stack as well as in terms of people interaction, I felt very impostery in that sense.
And how is it now after like a 1.5 year?
No, not 1.5, 1 year and a month actually. So
And you're in event. Yeah.
yeah. It definitely has gotten a lot better, and much of it is thanks to all those like small victories I had. I was like, I'm able to close deals. I'm able to make an influence. I'm able to answer questions. So I feel like those things really validate my experience and why I belong here in my role. But also, I think I learned a lot during my role in terms of public speaking, objection handling, as well as the tech stack in itself that builds the fundamental confidence that I need.
Cool. So for someone hearing about this role for the very first time, a lot of people might not be knowing what does sales engineers do. I already gave a very brief intro that software engineers build the product, but it's actually a sales engineer who sell the product. But tell me, what does a sales engineer actually do on a day-to-day basis, and how is it different from, let's say, software engineering or other fields like that?
Sure. So sales engineer actually goes under a lot of different titles, and they could vary slightly from organization to organization. Here we call it sales engineer. We don't call it solutions engineer because we are mostly involved in the pre-sales side and very little post-sales side. Versus in another organization, they could be called a solutions engineer or solutions architect, which gets involved in both the front pre-sales and post-sales side. But in my role day to day, it's mostly, as I said, pre-sale side, so it's a lot of building demos to showcase how our products is placed in the ecosystem, how they're able to solve commonly seen customer pain points, showing those demos to prospects, as well as if the prospect is interested enough to do a proof of concept POC with us, I would have to assist them with their POC in order to get them from point A, so where they're at today, to point B, where they would like to go via our product. Account executive is basically the pure salesperson that handles all the commercial side, all the negotiations. They are the ones that get the prospect, and only when they qualify that the prospect has a potential to buy, they will bring them to me.
So, what skills do you think most matter when you started this role? Is it the technical skill? Is it the communication skills? Is it a mix of both?
Honestly, I do feel like both the communication and the tech stack is important because think of it, you're talking to someone that is a person who is also a tech expert, and you have to convince them to pay your company thousands of dollars for something. You have to be good enough to showcase that this is worth that thousands of dollars, and you need both the tech and the communication because you have to convey that this is good. You have to tell a good story of why this is good. But also, you have to build enough tech and be able to answer their questions and see their use case so that we can prove what you've claimed with your story is true. Oversharing and over communicating is definitely important in our role because I'm the only one that takes the calls. I'm the only one that has all the context. Sure, we could share the call recording, but that's not a very effective use of other people's time if I'm able to go summarize that and give all the context in one message. So if I need to ask for extra help during a POC because our product covers like a wide span of things and it's really hard to be an expert in all of them. So when
Mhm.
I'm getting asked the question that's out of my field of expertise, I need to give enough context to whoever I'm asking help for who was not part of the deal, who was not part of the call, to understand what exactly the prospect is looking for and what exactly is the gap in my understanding that I need their help for. And this is why we need to be really good communicators and overshare, no matter whether it's like an engineering feature request or asking customer sales, like CS teams, so customer support teams, on how they can solve that problem in their existing customers.
Got it. And one final question that I want to ask you about: if a student or early career professional is watching this, and let's say he or she wants to become a sales engineer as their first role, what concrete steps would you recommend they take in the next 3 to 6 months? Maybe like a New Year resolution. You never know.
A New Year's resolution to become a sales engineer? Honestly,
Yep.
if it's like a student with no job, like that's their first job, like ever, including internships, get an internship first because I'm able to get this job, and it sounds like I did it fresh out of college, but the reality is I took like 2 gap years to work between like my third and fourth year of university, and that's where I built my technical skills so that I'm able to at least handle some of the tech here. I feel like it would be really hard to start this as like your first ever job because you need to learn so much on the fly that it will be a very challenging learning curve. But if you're a professional with professional experience, just start applying, honestly. I think you need to know how to use the product. You have to be able to see why you're building it. I think being able to articulate the why behind the what is the essence of sales engineering. And the reason why I think they ask for a lot of experience, prior selling experience, is that understanding the why is not something that everybody can do, and you have to prove to whoever's interviewing you to the general public that you're able to articulate the whole story.
Something interesting that I want to always do whenever someone gets joins, I always ask them like some sort of rapid fire questions so I can get to
Okay.
see how they answer this too quickly. And we're
Okay,
going to
I'm
do the
nervous.
same. So we'll probably ask 5 to 6 questions, and let's see how you answer that. So, first word that comes to your mind when you hear sales engineer, and you have to answer it instantly.
Myself?
Oh, got it, perfect. Okay,
I'm a sales engineer. When someone says I'm a sales engineer, I'm like, oh, somebody cued me? What? Because that's my role.
one skill that you think every aspiring sales engineer should start building today.
Learn Linux.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect,
What would
perfect.
you say? I feel like you would say the same thing.
Um, Show engineers how sales work. Okay,
I feel like we come from two different POVs, and I think we both answer to each other's pain points because we need to learn Linux. I don't like. I feel like we've been in this field long enough that we just assume everybody knows Linux. But the moment you put like one toe out of this circle, we're like, oh my god, please go learn Linux.
true.
Yeah, and like
Agree.
for you, it would be just engineers are so focused on their own building and their own PRs and their own like projects that they don't see the why. So I think
Exactly.
what we're trying to say, both from both our POVs, is that we need to be better as a team and work in tandem versus by ourselves.
Perfect. A common myth about sales engineering you want to bust.
It's a lot more technical than you think.
I feel like this is applicable to every field that's under tech. Like I have seen people I have seen some people, especially from India, and the students in the early career, they want to get into the DevRel role, but they do not have any experience beforehand, like not even internship, and they feel like DevRel is a sort of role that is not too technical, so I need not to learn so much technical things there. Uh,
It's pretty technical because our company, Acuity, we don't currently have like a dedicated dev role. And if you're looking for a dev role, we're hiring. But
yeah, only in
so
US.
oh, is it? I didn't
Yeah,
know we have I didn't know we have an opening.
one piece of advice you would give your day one self.
Oh God, there are so many things I would want to say to her, but I feel like day one myself would just be so overwhelmed by any more advice. So I would just say, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great.
Perfect, perfect. Last one. Which is more stressful, live demos or tough customer questions?
Tough customer questions.
I thought it would be live demos because something could break. You never know.
See, that's actually true. So, funny story is that during like my second demo ever, there was just like a bug that showed up in prod, and I thought it was my problem, so I panicked. But turns out it was just like a product-wide bug, and my boss at that time
Oh,
was like on the call with me. So thank God that he like took over and like saved that demo. But I will never forget the stress and the panic. I've never had such a big adrenaline rush. But then what my boss said after was that don't panic during live demos because we are a software, things do break. It's normal, just proceed as is. Don't lose your composure. So I feel like
hmm
I learned a lot from that experience that there are instances where my demos broke, where there are bugs that just showed up during the demo, but I was able to keep my composure and explain and know that whoever I'm talking to, they understand because no product is 100% stable and perfect. But tough customer questions, on the other hand, is like I don't know if I know the answer. I don't know if anybody else has the answer. I am on the spot. Maybe if I can't answer that question, that deal will go out of the window, which is almost never the case, but we can't just stop the stress from coming in when that shows up.
Um, well, that's it for the episode. If you have any questions, I would recommend you reaching out to Emily. Emily, where can people reach out to you?
This handle right here, is my like X account, and I'm there, so you can always message me. You can also message me on LinkedIn. If you send a connection request, just send me a message along with the connection request so I know who you are. As well, I do have my own YouTube channel. I'm starting in it because Nitish invited me to this interview, and I feel like I should do something about it too. So, on the same handle, that will also be my YouTube. So you can reach out to me there
Make
as
sure you
well.
go through it. I'm pretty sure she's going to produce like amazing content that's definitely worth a watch.
If you have content requests, please.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right then. That's it for the episode. I hope you all have enjoyed the video. If you guys do, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.